Hello my lovelies and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing one of my favorite things. I'm going to share my autumn capsule wardrobe with you, and if you're not new on my channel, I'm sure you know that I absolutely love to create seasonal capsule wardrobes. I get so much out of just updating them. I feel like they tend to get better and better every single season. That might just be my bias, but I think a capsule wardrobe is very much a sort of living thing. It's not something I tend to think of as a one and done project, and I really like to update it. It obviously doesn't mean that I repurchase my entire wardrobe every autumn. I have pieces in here that have carried over from my summer capsule wardrobe, and I have reintroduced pieces that I wore throughout autumn and winter of last year. So it's a good mix of new and old pieces. And this year I have kind of divided my capsule wardrobe into three categories. I have the absolute essentials, pieces that I could not create these outfits without. And then I have the more seasonal pieces that really position this capsule wardrobe into autumn. I also have a final category with pieces that I kind of, how do I describe them? Sort of boredom chasers, pieces that have more of a statement. Definitely these sort of personality pieces that I personally believe that a lot of capsule wardrobes lack. As always, I will link things down below if they are still available. Some of these pieces are older, so sadly they are not. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's get into the first category, the absolute essentials. So first up, I have two pairs of jeans, super obvious, and I really like to update my denim for autumn. So I have a darker wash denim. This is from And Other Stories. It looks like maybe they're not making this exact model anymore, but I absolutely love these. They're so comfortable, and I just love a grey wash denim for autumn because it's a little bit softer than black, and it's a great option when I don't want to have too much color into my outfit, or just an alternative to blue, because I also have a dark blue denim. It's my favorite wash of denim. I think it is so elegant. I absolutely love it. I also think this shade just has such magical powers to transform super basic outfits and make them feel more autumnal than a typical light wash denim. This is a new pair I just added from COS, but I had this exact model, the column jeans, in my summer capsule wardrobe just in a light wash denim. I really prioritize having some comfortable and well-fitting and beautiful denim in my capsule wardrobe. As we are going through the essentials here, it's going to be a lot of obvious ones. I have a t-shirt. I do keep white, black, grey, a couple different colors of t-shirts in my capsule wardrobe, but I figured we don't need to go through all of them. This is the clean cut t-shirt from COS, and honestly, the cut of this t-shirt is just so good. It's not too oversized, it's not too fitted. It just is a beautiful silhouette that is so easy to pair with so many different types of bottoms. So this is a great one. Then I also have two cardigans. The first one is one that carried over from my summer capsule wardrobe. This was one of my favorite pieces for summer. It continues to be still. It is just so good. It has so much structure. It's a beautifully knitted cardigan. But because this is made of 100% cotton, it's also not too warm for early autumn. It's a beautiful layering piece, and it works really well as sort of a jumper in its own right if you just keep it buttoned up, which I tend to do a lot. This reminds me a lot of the Kate cardigan for a fraction of the price. It's so good, and I can see that it's one of the most popular pieces I have shown on my channel with you guys as well. The other cardigan I have is in it's a lighter material, but it is in 100% merino wool. And this one is also just such a good layering piece. It goes over dresses, it goes with the jeans, it goes with tailored trousers, skirts. It's super versatile, and because it is so lightweight, it's not overly heavy or too warm for autumn. So obviously autumn is full of knitwear in my capsule wardrobe especially. However, I like to not overload with too many overheating ones, so I like to have a little bit of variety, different materials, different thicknesses, so that way I'm just trying to make my capsule wardrobe as wearable as possible essentially. So those are some really simple basic tops that I like to put in my capsule wardrobe. Then obviously we have a couple of layering pieces, and one of my favorite ones this season is this trench coat from COS. When I bought this, I thought I bought a cropped trench coat. I think I have to agree that it's not necessarily a cropped trench coat as much as it is just a shorter one, which is very much a trending item. It was last year, it is this year as well. Obviously, I'm not trying to fill my capsule wardrobe with a whole bunch of just trends, but I also like to keep it feeling current and modern. Otherwise, I'm just not going to wear it. So to me, this just feels like a little bit more of a classic version rather than a super cropped one. When it comes to my autumn and winter wardrobes, obviously outerwear is just going to take up more space, more of the budget, and it's something that I wear nearly every day. So I like to get a really nice quality and just something that I can repeat wear with lots of different items. And this is just such a fun, different silhouette. The other basic layering piece I have is this blazer. I have started wearing this one so much again. I bought it, I think, 2 years ago, and it's just been sort of a little bit rediscovered in my wardrobe. This is from Arket. It's 100% wool, but it's still quite lightweight, so I just think it is perfect for autumn. And as you can tell, it's a little bit more of a looser fit. It's not too oversized, but it definitely is leaning a little bit more that way. Whereas now we're seeing definitely a lot of blazers that are a little bit more fitted. They have that hourglass shape. That is not something I have decided to add into my capsule wardrobe. Not yet, anyway. I am quite happy with this one still. I try to go for silhouettes that aren't too exaggerated one way or another, unless it's something that feels really sort of personal or key to my personal style. Another absolute essential in my capsule wardrobe is a pair of tailored trousers. I have lost count of how many times I have shown these particular ones on my channel because they really fit my lifestyle quite well. They work beautifully for work, obviously, and they can be dressed down with some knitwear. You can wear a t-shirt for a more casual vibe as well, or you can wear a silk shirt with it and just really play it up or down. And to me, they're super comfortable. So for full transparency, I am definitely at the moment looking to upgrade these to a nicer material. Just something that is more breathable and just a little bit more looser fitting or better fitting. So as you can tell, my capsule wardrobe is not just some static thing. It's very much moving and changing and ideally improving. I also make sure I keep some really basic, easy to wear accessories for my essentials. I have 2 pairs of shoes, and obviously I like to play around with accessories, but these would get me through, I want to say 75% maybe even 80 of what I actually need on a daily basis. So I like to make sure I have a good quality version. I have a pair of sneakers. I wear these a lot. Wear them for work, wear them for outings, wear them for just about everything. They are so comfortable, and they are beautiful obviously for more casual outfits. They go great with the jeans, but they also work really well with the tailored trousers. And because the pieces in this capsule wardrobe are so easily dressed down with these sneakers, they're just really wearable. But for more rainy days or where I want a slightly smarter option, I mean, obviously, a pair of boots are an essential for autumn. It's one of the most quintessential wardrobe staples, a pair of boots. I absolutely love these. They are new and I have only worn them a couple of times, but so far I really love them. And this year I promised myself I would invest in a really high quality and comfortable boot that I could wear for lots of different things. I would ideally like to add a pointed toe black boot as well, because personally I really like to play around with my accessories. They can absolutely make an outfit. I think especially in a capsule wardrobe, it's really important. But I'm going to take my time and add the right pair of boots and not just rush into something to fill a gap in my wardrobe. Another shoe that I debated adding is a loafer. I think that is a beautiful option. Something a little dressier than a sneaker. So it's just a little bit, gives a little bit more versatility to the wardrobe. I want to see how far I can get with the options I have. As you can tell from the outfits, I don't feel like I missed a pair of loafers. So for now, this is what we're going with. Handbags wise, I wanted to add 2 handbags as I think are absolutely essential. And one is going to be a tote bag, something a little bit more practical, something that can obviously carry a lot for work, for errands, for whenever I need it, which is quite often actually. But for me, it's also an essential to have a smaller handbag, something that I can wear maybe crossbody or on the shoulder. For the most ease of wearing, I find that having a dressier small handbag is just giving me more options than a more casual one. The last couple of pieces I wanted to include in my absolute basics category is a couple of shirts. And here I have gone for two options, something a little bit more casual and something a little bit more dressy. I find that if I don't include both, I tend to miss the other version, whatever it is I have left out. So I have this cotton shirt. This has been one of my absolute favorite finds. I was going to say this season, but I think if I'm being honest, this shirt is one of my favorite finds this year. I would maybe add a white cotton shirt, but for me, if I had to choose, I would go with this because I can still repeat wear this so much, and it's just giving a little bit more interest to my capsule wardrobe rather than just keeping everything in a plain basic neutral, which we'll get back to in the next category. But I also wanted to have something in a silk. This is an older shirt from Arket. I've had this for I think 2 or 3 years. It's been a really good purchase in my wardrobe. It wasn't too expensive either, and I've just gotten so much wear out of it. It pairs beautifully with the more dressy pieces, but it also works really well with the more casual pieces like the jeans. I really love having both of these options, and if I'm being honest, this little selection here is, for me, this would take me really quite far if I just had this as my capsule wardrobe. It covers a lot of what I need really. I would be clothed for most occasions and it works really well. All the pieces work well together and it's really quite functional. However, the reason why I love capsule wardrobe so much is that I actually enjoy them. I actually feel like it still expresses my personal style and I have fun putting together outfits, so I don't want to stop at the most basic essentials. Let's get into the category where we find those full pieces, full textures, things that really help make the capsule wardrobe feel more seasonal, more autumnal, and a little bit more exciting to work with, in my opinion. First up, shall we start with a very obvious texture, suede. It's super hot this autumn. I very much feel like these suede pieces I can keep in my autumn capsule wardrobe next year as well. And let me show one of my most new in to my wardrobe pieces first. I have used this only for a couple of weeks, but I absolutely love it so far. It's a really beautiful classic shape, but it is quite soft. And I think the soft sort of slouch in this handbag looks really luxurious, but the shape and silhouette of it is just really quite classic. And it's a beautiful autumn shade as well. I feel like this can do so much for my basic outfits and transform them, make them feel much more autumnal, and I absolutely love this handbag for that. And for my capsule wardrobe, this is the only one of this particular shade that I have. It's a really beautiful one though, and I think it goes quite well with everything else. It doesn't need to have lots of other pieces matching it. It just needs to work with all of the other neutrals and the colors, which I also have. When it comes to making a statement through texture or print, I like to do it through pieces that I can repeat wear a lot. So for me, it was completely natural to have a suede outer piece in my capsule wardrobe. These are definitely more on the spendy side, and I bought this one back in spring, knowing already then that this was going to be something I put into my capsule wardrobe. I'm going to get cost per wear out of this, but also it's a perfect piece for autumn. Real suede is obviously a little bit more of an investment, but it's not one I have regretted this far. And it's definitely one of my favorite pieces in my autumn capsule wardrobe this time around. So it's been a really good purchase. I have a few more knitwear pieces, obviously. It's autumn. There is going to be a fair bit of knitwear. For me, the knit texture is such a big part of creating interesting outfits. Obviously, as you will see through the outfits, I really enjoy contrasting the textures. So something really tactile in texture like suede or a chunky knit paired with silk. For me, it just creates so much interest to my outfits by combining those or contrasting those textures. So shall we just start with the lighter knitwear first? I have this striped top, and this is such a simple basic. These are quite trendy at the moment. I have talked about this in my full trends video and I've mentioned it many times. It's one of those pieces that I really enjoy having as a trend in my capsule wardrobe because it's a really easy swap for a jumper that I would have worn anyway. Stripes tend to be one of my go-to things for print or interest into my outfits. I really like to have, as I already mentioned, variety in my knitwear, because if I just had 5 jumpers of similar weight and silhouette, it wouldn't really create versatility in the wardrobe. It would just be more of the same. So I have this short sleeve polo knit top from Lily Silk. It's one of the softest things I own and it's still really lightweight, so it's perfect for layering under things like the blazer, and it pairs really well with the jeans or the tailored trousers. It can be dressed up or down. It really is one of those super functional pieces that I can wear for so many different things. And for when we get into a bit cooler weather, I have a cashmere knit jumper. This is from Reformation. I have gushed about this so many times. It was also one of my more expensive purchases. However, I do not regret it. It's so soft. There is so much cashmere. It's really oversized, so there is a lot of material to it. And it's super nice and warm, so especially when we're moving into the cooler parts of autumn, this one is going to be used so much. And in addition to the silk shirt that I showed earlier, I also love having silk bottoms. They just add so much polish to my outfits, and I think it's such a beautiful material to wear, I mean, all year really, but there is something about silk for autumn, especially as you pair it with suede or knitwear. It's also super comfortable. I have this maxi skirt, and I also had this in my spring capsule wardrobe, and I also kept thinking this is going to be amazing for autumn. In the back of my mind, I just always have a little bit of autumn on my brain. It just is what it is. But back to the skirt. The khaki here is a beautiful color that still works sort of almost as a neutral. It works really well with all the other pieces in my capsule wardrobe. It's a bit more dressy, but it's so easily dressed down with some of the knitwear, and it also looks so good with the boots. And then I also have these pull-on silk trousers, which I love the combination of a really comfortable trouser in a really luxurious, beautiful, a bit more dressy material. It just is such a fun piece to style. It's a bit of a trend with these just pull-on trousers, especially in a more shiny material. I would definitely avoid them in polyester. These are in silk, but if you want a bit more of a budget, you can also find them in things like viscose or acetate, but they can't be beat for their comfort level, and I love styling them with more casual pieces. Looks so good with the knitwear. Again, just contrasting those textures make me really enjoy my outfits for autumn. Another accessory I would kind of put into this category, because I simply cannot make a capsule wardrobe without it, especially not for autumn. It is my Coach Brooklyn handbag. I bought this well over a year ago. I have used it lots. As you can see, it's misshaping a tiny bit, but I love this. It's covered in scratches as well, and I just can't get enough of it. There is something about this dark brown shade that just, the whole bag screams autumn to me. It's a really practical shoulder handbag that fits more than my smaller handbags but less than the tote, so it still fills a gap. And of course, what is a capsule wardrobe without a little bit of a scarf? And this is my Burberry scarf. I bought this so many years ago, and this is the thing about buying more expensive pieces that are not super trendy but are always going to feel on trend. If I didn't have this, I would still add a scarf that just isn't massive, something that is just really beautiful for autumn. I love that it has a little bit of a print. It's in cashmere, so it's super soft. It's adding just a touch of warmth, but it's also not like one of those huge scarves that I tend to wear for winter. I love having something in between for autumn. Now, moving on to the very last piece of this capsule, the pieces that strictly I feel like a lot of people are going to say this does not belong in a capsule wardrobe. This is too out there. Capsule wardrobes are meant to be classic and basic. I love these, and I want to call them my sort of boredom chasers. If I feel like I'm really bored with everything I'm wearing at the moment, pull out one of these. It just lifts my mood and it's creating outfits that feel very non-capsule wardrobe like. So I don't have a ton here, but I do have a few. I have one more green piece in this capsule wardrobe because I don't want to create them without a bit of color anymore. I used to try to make them as neutral as possible, and now I understand I'm much more happy when they have a bit of color. So I have this trench coat that I bought this season. This is from Saison. I feel like this is very much a love it or hate it piece. I absolutely love it. And because it's an outerwear piece, even though it's so statement, I have already gotten good wear out of this, and I feel like I will continue to. And plaid is super trendy at the moment, but I don't think there is anything too trendy about it where I'm not going to add this to my capsule wardrobe next year as well. We're thinking longevity here. That is what a capsule wardrobe is or should be all about, in my opinion. And especially for those really basic outfits, adding a statement piece of outerwear, there's something so transformative and magical about it. I think it's really worth having in a capsule wardrobe. Now, I have a couple more clothing pieces, but shoes. Shoes are such a statement maker when it comes to outfits. I have included a pair of heels. If I like wearing heels one day, or if I'm wearing a dress, I need a pair of heels. And these are a kitten heel. They're super, super comfortable. They're not overly intense, but they have these bows at the front, which I think are so cute. So they have a little bit more personality than just your plain black pump. And I do like a statement shoe. I have talked about these before, just a couple times. I love my Goni buckle ballerina flats. I get so many comments about these. Some people love them and some people say the funniest things. I love an ugly shoe. I think it can really transform basic outfits. So for me, these were definitely something I wanted to add into my capsule wardrobe. They have an open back, so it's limited how long I can wear them for before it's starting to get too cool and too wet and muddy. But for the beginning of autumn, these are still going strong. The last pair of shoes that I have is also representing the color for all the last items in my capsule wardrobe, and I meant to spread this more out, and so I'm sorry it's all coming in a bit of a burgundy shock, but I have, as you can see, neutrals, and then I have a couple of khaki greens, and then I have some burgundy. I love burgundy, especially through accessories, because it just adds a lot of like a pop of color that still goes really well with neutrals. I've found that I can almost consider them a neutral when I style them because they're that easy to wear. And these are my Sneakerinas. I've talked about these a lot before, so I'm not going to bore you to death with them, but they're just so comfortable and I love the satin for a bit more of a feminine touch. And then I also have a handbag in burgundy, another piece I have talked about again and again and again, so I won't bore you, but this handbag right here is one of my most worn recently. It's a beautiful quality and it fits so much more than you'd think. You can also clip on a crossbody strap, so it's super, super practical. As with the shoes, it's that perfect pop of color, statement handbag that still goes with all of the neutrals and is just surprisingly easy to style. Now for the final clothing pieces that are also very much statement pieces, I have a corduroy mini skirt, and a lot of the pieces in this sort of statement personality category are going to be so personal to me. So I get if you have a bit of a reaction that that's not a capsule wardrobe. It is though, it is to me. And this one goes so well both with the striped shirt, it goes really well with the basic knitwear and the cardigans. It's just adding so much fun to my really, really basic outfits. And this is definitely one of those pieces that if I'm feeling a bit bored, a bit sick of all my outfits, I can pull this one out and I'm having a lot of fun styling my outfits again. And you would be surprised how many outfit combinations you can actually pair this skirt in this capsule wardrobe, simply because I only have a few out there pieces and then the rest are just really simple and easy to style. The very final piece I have is a dress, and I had this in my capsule wardrobe I think in my autumn capsule wardrobe last year as well. It's so good, and this is perfect for like date night obviously because it's a bit more dressy, but it's also really easy to layer knitwear over it, either open as a cardigan or as a jumper to make this look sort of like a skirt. So I just find that I have so many ways of actually wearing this, and again, it's so easy to style with everything else here. So I just find that I have so many ways of actually wearing this dress. So that dress is technically the last piece. There are gaps in this capsule wardrobe that I am still kind of either wanting to update, like the trousers, or I want to add completely, like the black boots. And I also want to add a knit dress, maybe one more sort of shirt dress, a bit more for casual that isn't quite as warm as a knit. Obviously, a wool coat is going to be needed eventually, but I didn't want to overfill it before it's time, if that makes sense. So let me know if you want to see an update to this as well. And if you're not already subscribed and you want to see more content like this, please consider doing so. Either way, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you very shortly in the next video. Maybe one of these. Bye!